for Dulcimer Crossing. I'm Steve Uhlberg, and today we're going to look at what I'm calling the title, 3 Chords to Spice Up Your Playing. These are things that are very easily found when we play on either mountain or hammer dulcimer. They are chords which are slightly different than the chords we're used to playing. We often focus on playing the 1, 4, and 5 chords, but there are some things that we can do to those chords to make them a little more spicy. So let me. There we go. So typically we have 3 notes that make up a chord, but if we add a 4th note to that, we can get something that's really cool. When I was taking private arranging lessons in college as a history major, going nervously over the conservatory, Dave Wheeler, who was one of the jazz instructors, was saying, if you just add this one note to the chords that you're used to playing, it can be a good substitution. So let's look at major chords first, and let's look at the mountain dulcimer. And let me change my camera so you can see. So if I want to play a chord that's got D and G and A in it, all 3 of those voicings have 3 notes. The 1, 3, and 5, they're not in order, but they have all 3 notes. Now, if I was to add at the top of that a major 7 in the D chord, it's going to be D, F sharp, A, C sharp. If I add that in, I get a very accessible major 7 chord. That's very cool. It's kind of dreamy, feels kind of open. It also works. That's at 0.022, and at 3.55, and at 4, 6.5, 6.5, and at 6.88. Now you may say those chords really sound a little unusual to me. America in Ventura Highway used the D7 and the D major 7 and the G major 7 in the 70s to create that that feeling of I don't know, I feel like it's like worrylessness. Those chords are chill enough. Chewing on a piece of grass, walking down the road. So, Doug, your question is getting your fingers tied up. Is if I play with the side of my thumb, so I'm getting a bar out of the side of my thumb. That's one of the ways that these chords are not that difficult. Now, what if I was to boil them cabbage? Boil them cabbage down, boys. Turn them hoe cakes round. The only song that I can't sing is boil them cabbage down. It doesn't work in every song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Now, in that case, the A major 7 really felt out of character. So that's where we have the other option. Instead of adding the major 7 to the top of the chord, we can add a 6, which in this case, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. It's adding la. We added T before, but what if we add the B to this chord? So we have and this one is based on whatever the name of the chord is on the bass string. While we do this, at the second fret, 3, 5, 5, 4, 6.5, 6.5, 6, 8, 8. With the name of each, this was D major 7, G major 7, A major 7, C major 7. Now for the if we use the reverse L shape, now the name of the chord is still on the bass string. I've got a D and an F sharp and an a B. That gives me the D6 chord. If I play A, C sharp, F sharp, that gives me an A6 chord. When I play the G, B, E, that gives me a G6 chord. So let's go and do You Are My Sunshine. Let's boil them cabbage first. Boil them cabbage down, boy. Turn them cakes round. The only song that I can't sing is boil them cabbage down. That really is more like the watch pot won't boil. We're not really focusing on what's going on because we want to do this dreamy kind of thing. That 6th chord to me is kind of like someone who's washed the windows and now the light is coming through and it's bright and airy and really not too committed. Let's do the other one. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. So that was using all 6th chords. But what if I use You Are My Sunshine, my only sunshine, the D major 7. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, G6, G major 7, how much I love you. Please don't take my sun, take my sunshine away. Now look at that. When I was playing the major 7 chord and I took away the D and put an A on the bottom to give me the A6, it didn't feel like it changed that much, did it? But what if I my sunshine away, sunshine away. Doesn't it sound cool? Yeah. We're just adding one note. Now, obviously on a mountain dulcimer, these are 4-note chords and we're playing 3 strings at once. So we're going to have to choose which of the 3 notes we're playing. But right now, I just want you to see how easy it is to get to these interesting things. I'm in DAD tuning. I did a whole workshop on playing jazz in this tuning at the North Georgia Foothills Dulcimer Association Festival last weekend. And that's the same thing the students there said. Wow, that's so cool. I didn't have to retune or anything. Now, it doesn't let us do everything, but the major 7 and the 6 chords are very available to us. Now, you may be asking yourself the question, is that the same case for the hammered dulcimer? So let's check it out. In the same key, if I want to play a major 7 chord, I play a small box. I can start on any one of the marked courses, skip one, cross over, play that same course on the other side of the bridge, and then play a skip. If I was playing just the regular chord and adding a 4th note to double the tonic, I would play what I call the Utah shape. Some people call the chicken shed or the shoe or the car or the truck. But if I play the small box, I get that major 7 shape. And the name of the chord is whatever I played first. It's the marked course. Now the major 7 chords are going to show up wherever we have a marked course. They're just here. It's just where we choose to play. Now let's boil them cabbage with a major 7 like we did for the mountain dulcimer. Boil them cabbage down, boys, turn them hoe cakes round. The only song that I can sing is boil them cabbage down. So the small box, starting on a marked course, is going to give us the major 7 chord. We were adding, there's our triad, we added a 4th note there, but what if we come down to 6? This is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and we added T, which is 7. 1, 3, 5, 6. I'm starting on a marked course again. Boil them cabbage down, boys, turn them hoe cakes round. The only song that I can sing is boil them cabbage down. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy. The skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. So I used all major 7 chords there except for the A6, just like I did on the mountain dulcimer. Isn't that cool? Hey, Rusty, how are you? Good to see you here. Now, that gives us 2 of the 3 chords that I am saying we can use to spice up our playing. I gave us a major 7 and a 6. All we're doing is taking the major chord and adding a 4th note. Now, there's one other one, and you can experiment with where those can show up in any song you want to play and see what happens. You might, the different chord structure or the different flavors of those chords in the spicing of the song might change the tempo you're using to play it. It might have been an up-tempo fiddle tune, but when you use these chords, it becomes a lullaby. It might have been a lullaby, and all of a sudden it becomes a swing tune. I try to keep open to all those possibilities. Now, here is the minor 7 chord. It's very easy to find this. If I play the frets that I would normally play for an E minor chord, 3, 3, 1. Now let me shift my camera so you can see that one. If I play those, I get an E minor. I have a major, minor, minor, major, minor, major, minor, major, and diminished, minor again. So if I reverse and instead of playing the 3rd fret with just one finger, but play it with two, I've got 1, 3, 3. That gives me the E minor 7 chord. The name of the chord is still on the bass string. And when I come up to, so it's major 7 here, but if I come up to 1, 3, 3, I've got minor 7. The name is E minor 7. Come up to 2, 4, 4. I've got F sharp minor 7. Then at the third fret, it's the major 7 that we talked about before. If I come up to 4, 6, 6, I got A minor 7. If I go to 4, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, I've got major 7. If I go 5, 7, 7, I've got B minor 7. And if I go to 6, 8, 8, I've got C major 7. So the minor 7 chords can substitute not for major chords, but for minor chords. I can add, that's very clearly the minor chord. But if I play, it feels like the minorness has been, it's not hopeless. If you're someone that feels like minor is sad, I'm not someone who feels that. But some people experience minor chords as sadness. For the 7 added to the minor chord makes it feel like I'm going to survive this, whatever it is. It feels like there's just a little bit of hope and there's a way out. Now, in the 70s, these chords started to get used for a lot of songs. So summer breeze makes me feel fine. I don't have the chords with me right now, but Seals and Crofts used the minor 7 chords as a part of the Summer Breeze song, which was a big hit in the middle 70s. And the Doobie Brothers, is that China Grove? All of a sudden, when you add that minor 7 in there, it gives it that flavor, which is really fun. It's very easy to find, and it relates to the major 7 shape. At 022, it's major 7. At 133, it's minor. At 244, it's minor. At 355, it's a major 7. At 466, minor, but 4, 6 and a half, 6 and a half, major 7. 577 is minor 7, major 7. D major 7, E minor 7, F sharp minor 7, G major 7, A minor 7, A major 7, B minor 7, C major 7. Now, if I would go through, hey Jamie, isn't it so cool? Now, if I would go through and add one chord to the You Are My Sunshine that we were doing before, I'm going to add the B minor, but I'm going to play it as a minor 7 chord instead of a B minor. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Now, if I play View, I play B minor 7 right there for that second beat. Please don't take my son. That was the one. Please don't take my sun, shine away. it all of a sudden makes it the whole thing feel what's the word I want to use to describe that feeling? That's a melancholy song sung as a lullaby that my mom used to sing to us when we were children. And when I put those major and minor sevens on there and the sixths, it doesn't feel so sad to me. Now, how does that relate on the hammered dulcimer? The same. On the mountain dulcimer, if I played the small box, I got a D major 7. If I play starting on an unmarked chord, still a small box, where I play this one and skip and cross over and skip, that's a minor 7 chord too. If I play one below a mark and skip, cross over, skip, and now I'm back to a marked chord. So it turns out that there's a predictable pattern: major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, minor 7. It just continues, and it does the same thing between the bridges. So one shape for the major 7, one shape for the same shape for the minor 7, talking about where we begin. Now, this one is like a roller skate or something facing the other direction. 1, 3, 5, 6. That's a major it's a major chord, but it's just called a 6 because we're adding the 6 to it. Can you add the 6 to the minor chord? It turns out we can. When we start one above a mark and play the same shape as we did for the 6 chord, it becomes a minor 6 chord. Now here, it's not the minor 6 chord because we've got a minor chord, but instead of playing something a whole step away, we're playing something a half step away. So for that shape, it doesn't just move around with the same predictability. Well, there is predictability, but it's not just two choices. Major, minor. Now, we can take those. Let me think of a different song. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. You move the forest to thrill stream water. This land is made for you and me. That was all 6 chords. There was some tension there, wasn't there? Let's do it with major 7 chords. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. It feels different when we do that. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, So when I take that popular hymn, New Britain, and do that. Oh, good, Jamie. I fully understand that challenge. Your lullaby was Red Wing. Let's do. Whoops, I forgot to change my camera when I went and did Red Wing on the Mountain Dulcimer. Sorry about that. There's the major 7. Oh, pretty little red. F sharp minor 7. Red Wing. So much of what goes on in jazz is just playing with chords and rich chord possibility. And it does that. With these 3 chords with very, very accessible shapes on both instruments. I just love dulcimers because they keep surprising us with what we can do when people think they're limited. Joe Collins a long time ago said a dulcimer has half the frets and half the notes, but all the music. And I think that's the perfect way to describe it. And depending on what it is that we want to play, all we have to do is find out where to start it. What do we do have? And we can do a lot with these instruments. So that is the topic for today. I do want to call attention to next week's workshop that Dulcimer Crossing has going on at Aubrey Atwater, and this is on the front page, dulcimercrossing.simplero.com. Aubrey Atwater is doing a workshop called A Very Richie Christmas. She is someone who is really connected with the Ritchie family and carries on sharing their music. And this is next Thursday, a week from tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. This is a benefit for mentor, and workshop level students at Dulcimer Crossing. However, we also have a way, if you just want to come to the workshop, you can do that and then have access to the recording afterwards. And so this is how you do that. Just go to that front page and click on the complete your purchase link to get an a la carte. Oops, I guess you don't get to see that. I've got to reshare that in order for that to work. It didn't let me do here we go. So when you click on Aubrey's picture or the link there, you'll see the page where you can sign up for her workshop. It will be in the archives after the workshop is completed. If you sign up for an a la carte workshop, you get access to the archive of that workshop. If you are a workshop or mentor level of Dulcimer Crossing, you get access to all of the workshops. On your live events tab when you're logged into the website. So if you're a member there, you can see that Aubrey's is coming up and you can just click on here to take part in it. And then when they're archived, here they are in past events. So need to add Alice Mears Graveler Fairway is here. I need to add last week's workshop, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it is, when I did the arranging workshop. So I need to add that one in there. But at the top of the page is the workshop archive. And then we have our archives of the live streams that we have here. So if you have questions about that, please feel free to write and ask me that. And thanks, Talon. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. And that's what I wish for you all. A time of gratitude. And for me, music is one of the ways that gets expressed. So I hope that you have a wonderful time with that. The other things coming up, beginning a week from today in the evening, will be in the season of Advent for those who celebrate the Christian liturgical year. Advent begins the church year and is the 4 weeks preceding Christmas. And my dulcimer friendly Advent service is what we'll be doing as a play along. There's been a class that has been available in October and November to learn the evening prayer service and learn some Advent tunes. And this is a play along class in Zoom. It's like all the workshops virtually, you play at your place and you hear me and yourself, which means you can feel free to play along. And there is a handout. If you are interested in the resources that were part of the class, we can talk about that. Let me know that you're interested in those, and I can get those to you in a digital or physical form. But the handout, the bulletin for the class will have all the lyrics and chord names. So we'll be playing from chord shapes. That begins next Wednesday. And let me give you the link to sign up. I forgot to grab that link. So let me do that. It's something you need to register for on Zoom. So you click on there and then you sign up, and that's how you can get the handout so that you can play along. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, friends.